Tansei, I'm Kashechewan. Welcome to APTN National News Daytime. A verdict for a First Nations man on trial for second-degree murder ×5 was handed down late Thursday in a Winnipeg courtroom. With the details, here's APTN's TR Wheatley.
After less than 2 hours of deliberating, the jury made up of 7 men and 5 women came back with a verdict that found Jamie Felix guilty of second-degree murder ×5 for fatally shooting 5 people at a Winnipeg rooming house on November 26, 2023. Among the victims were sisters Crystal and Shannon Beardy of Lake St. Martin, Malalik Lesikel, and Dylan Lavallee. The 5th, Sean Marco, died in hospital in late 2025. During the trial, a medical expert said he had died from getting pneumonia after being shot. The trial began on February 17th, with the Crown first making their case, saying that Felix had been paranoid after being on a days-long crack cocaine and drinking binge in the house where the shooting occurred. The home was known to be a crack shack. Felix had left to go for a walk with his father, Randolph Fagnan, a known gang member, and when he returned, he fired off 9 rounds in 8 seconds, then tried to turn the gun on himself and ran out of ammunition. Among the Crown's witnesses were police officers and first responders on the scene, a pathologist, as well as Felix's mom and his girlfriend at the time, who both testified that Felix had told them he did it. Felix's defense team tried to say it was Felix's now dead father who pulled the trigger and that Felix was only a patsy, adding that Felix's father planned the murders and set up his own son to take the fall. Over the course of the trial, jury also heard that Felix had military training and that he had struggled on and off with substance abuse since his twin brother Jonathan was killed after a drug deal gone wrong back in 2012. In the end, the 12-person jury believed beyond a reasonable doubt that it was Felix who killed the 5 people in the rooming house back in 2023. While Felix sat quietly during the verdict, it was after both the jury and the judge had left the room that Felix began to cause a scene. According to the Canadian press, Felix wanted to talk to friends in the room, but the sheriffs would not allow him to. That's when Felix punched a sheriff in the face. It took many sheriffs in the room to restrain Felix, who was taken from the courtroom without a shirt after it ripped during the scuffle. As for Felix's sentence, that will be handed down at a later date. TR Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Saskatchewan RCMP have released the identity of one suspect who allegedly shot a man in the Red Earth Cree Nation in northeastern Saskatchewan earlier this week. Saskatchewan RCMP say they are looking for 24-year-old Julian Kitchener, a resident of Shoal Lake. He has been charged with discharging a firearm with intent, aggravated assault, and possessing weapons contrary to a court order. Kitchener is 6 feet tall, 220 pounds with black hair. His left eye is gray and may appear closed while his right eye is brown. RCMP say Julian Kitchener and another suspect fled the scene in a gray Chevrolet Impala after they allegedly shot a man on Tuesday afternoon in Red Earth Cree Nation. The man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. If anyone knows where Julian Kitchener is, you're asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A man charged in connection with the death of an Indigenous woman who went missing in Thunder Bay will stand trial. The body of 42-year-old Deborah Anishinaabe was found by Thunder Bay police on December 14th in 2024. Throughout the course of the investigation, police charged 24-year-old Levi Michael Lawson with second-degree murder and indignity to a human body. A preliminary hearing was held this week where evidence was presented in court. A trial date will be set at a future hearing. Kashechewan First Nation is calling for the resignation of Indigenous Services Minister Manny Golmasti. Members of the nation in Northern Ontario have been out of their homes for more than 60 days now because of critical infrastructure failures and the spread of cryptosporidium, which can cause a respiratory and gastrointestinal illness. The chief says there has been 6 direct and indirect deaths in the last 2 months. Kashechewan Chief Jose Wesley says families remain displaced in host communities living in uncertainty while work to resolve the water crisis continues to face delays. Leadership has been calling on Minister Golmasti to visit the community to see the situation for herself and see the conditions people are living through. But to date, the minister has not visited Kashechewan or the evacuees. For more on this, our Dennis Ward recently spoke with Chief Wesley. Here's that interview.
Chief Wesley, thanks for being with us here. The people of Kashechewan have been out of their homes now for more than 60 days. Can you give us an update on the latest with the community?
The latest update, it's been 61 days now since the declaration was signed. And it's an ongoing situation right now in my community. The repairs are happening slowly. And we're trying to get engineers and contractors are trying their best to expedite the repairs in our water plant to get these other pumps in the community to get these extra protection in our water plant. It's still ongoing issue.
Today you called on the Minister of Indigenous Services Canada, Mandy Galmasti, to resign. Why do you think the minister should step aside?
It's just we've been at this for 61 days now, and nothing has been done to get this permanent solution to be resolved in my community. And that's what my people want. They're tired right now. They're really tired, and we can't live like this the rest of our lives. Just being evacuated every year, infrastructure failure. We want the government of Canada to resolve this, what we're going through right now in the community. Nothing's been done right now to get that commitment, even though we signed that agreement back in 2019. It's very slow process. And we want to expedite this agreement that was signed to get fast track this relocation and to commit the real funding for it at the same time. And there's no really funding commitment yet from IEC. And that's why we're asking Mandy to step aside to get the person in there to do the job for the community. And that's how frustrated the community members are. My elders, my youth are really frustrated what's going on in the community. And we're fed up with this ongoing situation in my community. My children are tired. People are tired right now.
What needs to happen for you and the people of Kashechewan to return home?
What needs to happen? I guess to repair the situation that we're going through right now. The reason why we declare a state of emergency, and we want to meet the government of Canada at the same time to get these agreements in place to fast track this relocation, to fast track what we need in our community. And these are the things what we want and our youth want. And these are the things that we need to sit down at a table together for my membership to sit down with the Indigenous Service Canada to come to these evacuation centers to see firsthand what my people are going through right now. Sitting in the hotels is not a pleasant feeling right now for the children. And we're missing education at the same time. Education is really, my people is the first one to have education. It's our priority. And our children are missing education right now. 2 months. And it's not right what my children are going through. Education.
Chief, there have been 2 decades plus of talks about relocating the nation to safer ground. With spring almost upon us, are you also concerned about flooding?
Yeah, we're very concerned about this year flooding, amount of snow that we are having this year in our region. And I'm very concerned at the same time this coming spring.
Chief, you mentioned in your statement today that the nation has lost 6 people since you've been evacuated. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we have lost people during this evacuation, and I want to respect the privacy of the families. And one indirect, it's crypto-related complications, death. And that's all I'm going to say with these. I want to respect the family.
Indeed. Well, condolences to you and the people there, Chief. We'll leave it there, but appreciate you taking some time for us here.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
In a statement posted to social media, Gull Masti says she has been in open dialogue with Chief Wesley since the beginning, and she's been working continuously with all levels of government to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of everyone impacted. She said she regrets not having been able to visit the community in person and remains committed in doing so. News has come out of the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations that one of their longtime vice chiefs has stepped down. APTN video journalist Rachel May has that story.
A number of chiefs in Saskatchewan received an email March 5th stating that David Pratt has resigned as first vice chief of the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Pratt was elected second vice chief in 2017 and became first vice chief in 2021. He ran for national chief of the Assembly of First Nations in August 2023. He lost to Cindy Woodhouse of Manitoba. According to the email, Pratt submitted his resignation on January 31st, with his last day at the FSIN being March 2nd, 2026. The email says he is stepping down to run for chief of Muscopetang Saulteaux First Nation, his home community just north of Regina. The 2026 general election nomination list for Muscopetang was posted March 4th, with Pratt among 4 candidates seeking the position, one of whom is former journalist Carrie Benjo. In a Facebook post, Pratt thanked his supporters, saying it is now time to move in a different direction. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
APTN reached out to FSIN and Pratt for comment, but have not heard back as of this broadcast. We have more news after the break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. A family from Inukjuak, a remote community in northern Quebec, has been in Montreal for several months. It's so that their son Bobby can receive medical care. APTN's Stephanie DeSave tells us more about the difficult decision Bobby's mother must make, a decision that many northerners know all too well.
In the near future, the only way 14-year-old Bobby will be able to stay in touch with his family in the north is through his iPad. He will soon be discharged from a Montreal hospital, but may not be able to go back home to Inukjuak in northern Quebec. He might be placed in a permanent facility for disabled kids in Montreal, far from familiar places. Right now, Bobby is here with his Anana, Lily, his adopted mother, and his sister Jennifer. Bobby has a genetic disease called P5CS deficiency. It causes growth and developmental delays, as well as eye problems. His biological younger sister has the same rare disease. Sign language is how he communicates. By bringing his fingers together, Bobby says again. Despite his condition, Bobby has a strong personality.
He watches airplane, he loves airplanes. He loves wheels, big trucks, and sunanlo, hanoklo.
And he has a lot of energy, I hear.
He has a lot of energy. He would go everywhere.
He has been under medical supervision since he was 6 weeks old. He is used to traveling from his community to Montreal for medical appointments and treatments.
Bobby, Anana.
Back in November, they traveled from Inukjuak for a routine checkup, but had to stay to treat Bobby because he had blood in his vomit and feces. His Anana had sought medical advice more than once over the years, but had been told that everything was fine.
But then I thought it was normal. I thought it was okay. But then when he was born, he used to get sick easily.
However, Bobby had to be put to sleep, and a small camera was used to check his esophagus.
He had an internal bleeding inside. Esophagus was infected. Yes.
All the way up to his stomach, actually.
Yeah.
The medical team tried unsuccessfully to administer his antibiotic in his milk, through an IV, and then through a tube in his mouth.
He gagged and the tube went off from mouth.
The medical team then suggested a small incision be made to connect a tube directly into his stomach. It is used to hydrate, nourish, and administer medication. His Anana was hesitant at first. She finally agreed because she was promised the procedure would be temporary. According to his Anana, the medical team went back on their promise, and he will have to keep the tube permanently. This added task weighs on the decision this stay-at-home mom has to make. Will she bring Bobby back home, or will he be placed permanently in a facility for the disabled in Montreal? Because Bobby will soon be discharged from the hospital.
I can't bring him home because of the tube leg. I'm planning
Jennifer shares what would be the best scenario for Bobby.
We preferred that he is closer to home, like that is connected to the culture, to the land, to
So I can visit directly to him, so I can see him every day if they took my boy.
But there are no facilities for disabled kids in Inukjuak, nor in other remote northern Quebec communities. In 2025, Anana advocated for such a facility at the Makivik Annual General Meeting. Something came out of her testimony. They are not building a home, but the Lily Fund was created last year.
I asked her already, so are they going to build a house for handicap? And she said, no, not the one. You've been accepted for trust fund.
The fund provides monthly financial assistance to parents of children with disabilities. Anana says she is happy the fund provides some assistance, but it does not solve her situation, where Bobby may be in a Montreal facility permanently. That's because Bobby is not easy to handle.
He got traumatized by so many different doctors. So when a new phase shows up, going to be in a protective mode.
Also, Anana has a hard time giving Bobby a bath by herself. He has become too heavy. She believes that two people are needed to control and care for him.
Even though if I go through FM, Facebook, PLA, social workers, they posted nobody's interested. There's no one. You never know, dear.
It's a familiar song, one she's been singing to Bobby since he was a baby. As a mother and an activist, Anana has not sung her last note yet. Stéphane Desev, APTN News, Montreal.
We now want to tell you about this week's 3 web poll questions. Over on our website, we ask, do you think confrontations in retail stores are increasing? You can answer yes or no. Our second question was, now that day school records are digitized, do you think it will help advance reconciliation? You can answer yes or no. And our last question was, should the federal government expedite changes to Bill S2 to address second generation cutoff? And you can answer again, yes or no. Go to our website at aptnnews.ca to have your say. The Calgary Flames just unveiled its new logo for its upcoming Indigenous celebration game. That story after the break. On the East Coast, St. John's -6, Charlottetown -8. Inukjuak -23, La Grande River -14. Val-d'Or 1, St. Jovite 1 and partly cloudy. Cloudy in Toronto at 0, London rain and 2. Big Trout Lake -11, Sudbury -3. -12 in Puckatawagan, flurries in Thompson at -10. Clear skies in Gimli at -11, Princess Harbor -10. Partly cloudy in Regina at -6, Saskatoon -7. Buffalo Narrows -5, La Ronge -7. Sun's out in Fort McMurray at -14, Fort Chipewyan -23. -2 in Red Deer, Lethbridge +5. Rain in Tofino at 8, Penticton 6. Dees Lake -4, Smithers 0 and cloudy. -41 in Old Crow, Mayo -22. -32 in Fort Simpson, Norman Wells -35. -37 in Sax Harbor, Polituck -20. Baker Lake -29, Whale Cove -19. And Clyde River -30, Iqaluit -27. Now for all you hockey fans out there, the Calgary Flames hosts their annual Indigenous celebration game this Saturday against the Carolina Hurricanes. In anticipation of the event, the Flames unveiled a new logo their players will be sporting at the match. Flames defenseman Zach Whitecloud is showing off the design here. The logo features Blasty the horse with a fiery mane and 7 feathers representing the Treaty 7 territory Calgary is located on. Designer Keegan Starlight says the pink swirls symbolize Chinooks bringing up prayers up to the Creator. Starlight, an artist from Tsuut'ina Nation, also created a shoulder patch with creative help from his daughter, Braylee. Whitecloud, a member of the Sioux Valley Dakota Nation in Manitoba, was traded to the Flames from the Vegas Golden Knights earlier this year. Proceeds from the Indigenous celebration merchandise will go to youth programming in all Treaty 7 First Nations. Very nice jerseys. A dance festival now in its 19th year is once again entertaining audiences with a culturally diverse presentation. The dancers of Damla Hamid are all family members from the Gitxsan Nation in northern BC. Margaret Grenier is the festival director. She says it's an honor to showcase their rich family lineage and culture to the world.
This year is a very special year. Although we've been doing this for 19 years, because of the renovations that they did in the Great Hall, this is going to be the first year that we fully returned into the Museum of Anthropology. So we're going to have dancing throughout the week. Today and yesterday and the day before it was for family and youth audiences, but we're going to have evening events over the weekend as well as afternoon events. We have artists that are coming as far away as Norway joining our festival this week, and we're also partnering with VIDF and sharing a work coming from New Zealand.
And that's all the time we have for APTN National News Daytime on this Friday. Dennis Ward is back for your evening newscast in a few hours. Please join us then. From all of us at APTN National News Daytime, miigwech masicho, hi hi. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next Monday. Ekse.